Welcome to the second instalment of interview skills in moderately interesting places. We're at Aberidi. I think next week up there you can see they're holding the Red Bull cliff diving champions, and there's an assorted set of random people hurling themselves into the water. So what I want to talk about is experiential interviewing, and the idea here is that the interviewer will ask you to give details of an experience that you've had which shows the sort of attributes that they want to see. So an example might be, give me an example of a time when you solved a hard problem, and you'll then hopefully be able to draw on your past experience and say, oh well, I solved a particular problem, these were the obstacles I overcame, these were the hard parts, this is what I learned. And the interviewer will then get an insight into what you know and what you can do. And one of the things I've observed is that the interviewers that are the most mature, most successful, and best at understanding people will often use this technique. And it's a technique that I use myself, and I find probably one of the most useful for getting an insight into how somebody's mind works. So another example of an experiential question might be something like, give me an example of a time you worked in a team, or an example of a time that the team was failing and you made it successful. Another example might be, give me an example of a time you turned failure into success, or give me an example of a time where you helped somebody in distress. So these are all examples, and if you can think through the possible questions you're asked and then look back at your experience, and if there are any gaps, that's a good place to go and fill. And that's what we'll be talking about next time, which is broadly labelled doing stuff. But just before that, I want to talk a little bit about the personal statement that normally appears at the top of the CV. And this really relates to experiential interviewing. That personal statement really should have what you've done, not opinions about yourself. The first time I ever did a mock interview, probably going back nearly 20 years, where a guy who'd put down, I got great communication skills, and I asked him, well, give me an example of a time when you had demonstrated great communication skills, and the poor lad had a stutter. Wasn't there to humiliate people, had to bail him out and help him. But if you haven't got those attributes, don't put them in the personal statement, because the CV is also a script for your interview. So, well, we're going to go and have some fun and jump into the water, and we'll see you for the next instalment of interview skills in moderately interesting places, where we're going to talk about doing stuff and filling your CV in an interesting way.
Not yet, not yet. Not yet.
Let's go together.
Not right now.
Come on.